Hey guys, and welcome to my herbal medicine class for beginners. I'm super excited to bring you lots of information in the next 20 minutes. So I hope that you have your notebook, your pen ready to jot down some notes and get ready to have your mind blown. I'm so excited to be here. So, if you aren't familiar with who I am, my name is Cicely Everson. I work day to day as a master herbalist, a functional medicine practitioner, Reiki practitioner, and shaman. I know that's a mouthful. Basically, all that means in a nutshell is that I use holistic medicine, holistic modalities to help improve people's health. And my mission is literally to help raise the health consciousness on the planet, one person at a time. What is one way that I do this, you might ask? Through herbal medicine and the use of plants. Plants can be food, as we know, right? Plants can also be medicine, and that's what we are going to talk about. So, listen, this is a 20-minute class, which maybe that feels long to you, but for me, that feels super short, and I can be a little wordy. So, I'm going to hop right in. I don't want to leave anything out. I do have an itinerary that I want to follow to make sure I get all the good stuff in. So, first of all, thank you for being here. You clicked on this class or you opted in to watch this class because it interests you in some way. Maybe you're thinking about getting into herbal medicine as a career. Maybe you're wondering, could I learn that? But I don't know anything about herbs. Could I help other people with their health? Or maybe you are wanting to use plant medicine to help your own health, maybe to bolster your own mental, emotional, spiritual, physical health and well being. And we are going to chat about how we can use herbs to do all of those things. Now, there are many different ways that you can get herbal education. There are some schools who have brought on complementary departments, universities that offer herbal medicine programs, a variety of courses and programs, right? And then you have more of your natural or holistic institutions that have programs designed specifically to teach herbal medicine and other natural modalities as well. And then you have lots of people who teach online and in person, and I fit into that category. So if you're interested in taking my in-depth herbalism 1, which is also known as therapeutic herbalism class, that is something that I offer online as a hybrid course where we exchange live interactions like this, but there's also a curriculum that you can follow online. But then I also teach that class in person, and it is lots and lots of fun. So if you want more information on that, make sure you visit taoholistics.com. You can get all the information that you need about the next sessions coming up, or simply reach out to me and I can give you that information as well. So when it comes to using herbal medicine, how does it work? First of all, what are herbs? And so let's start very basic. Herbs are plants that have been found to have medicinal value. And originally, there were no scientists running in the woods testing herbs to see, oh, I think we can use this for arthritis, or this one's going to be excellent for asthma. Plant medicine began through the ancestral use around the globe. So, by that, what I mean is throughout the world, cultures and indigenous groups, native peoples the world over, used plants that they intuitively felt had medicinal value. They used plants as food. They also learned to use plants as medicine. And using plants as medicine can span from using herbs to help you have more energy to actually helping to reverse a chronic disease. And that's pretty major. So, what do herbs do? Well, I've given you kind of that range, but basically, herbs balance the body. But to go even deeper, because just balance the body sounds kind of boring and that is not specific enough, herbs can actually work with your body's system to help remove the triggers and symptoms of disease. So, when you are manifesting symptoms in your physical body, there are things that need to be done to remove those symptoms, but we also want to get to the deeper root issues of why it's happening to begin with, right? And herbs can do that. They can actually help get to the underlying causes of what's happening and correct that imbalance to begin with, okay, at a very root level, at the level of your body's organs. or your body systems. That's very important to note. So let's go ahead and flow through the itinerary. I'm going to show you what we'll be sharing today. Okay, so and it looks like my video might be a little slow. Hopefully this feedback is still quality feedback. So we've talked about what herbal medicine is. We're going to talk about herbal energetics. We're going to talk about single herbs versus herbal blends, how to find quality herbs, how to work safely with herbs, and then some of my favorite herbs, which, by the way, was insanely hard for me to do because I use so many herbs on a daily basis. So I felt like I was cheating some of them by not mentioning them in today's list. But it's okay. And sometimes my list rotates. And if you have ever used herbs, you'll find that that happens with you too. They're just like foods. There are plants that you use medicinally with the seasons. You know, it depends on what your body needs. It depends on what's going on in the environment. And that's quite okay. All right, so let's start with herbal energetics. Herbal energetics. How do herbs work in the body? So herbs actually get their activity and their functions by the chemicals that are naturally occurring in them. So these are not synthetic chemicals. These are naturally occurring chemicals or constituents that live inside of the herbs, right? Inside of the herb's biological makeup. And these constituents, these chemicals give an herb its properties or its actions or its energetics. So if you've ever tasted a culinary herb like cilantro, you can think about the way cilantro tastes. That is part of the profile of an herb. Is it a cool herb? Is it a warming herb? If you think about peppermint, that's definitely a cooling herb, right? And when you taste it, it tastes minty. So there are different ways that you can classify how an herb tastes, looks, smells, feels. And so an energetic can really be a range of things. But when it comes to herbal energetics and herbal actions, there are several different categories. There are lots of different herbal actions, to be honest, but I'm going to go over some of the more common ones. One category would be nervine herbs. And nervine herbs are herbs that work on the nervous system. Your nervous system includes everything from that pretty little head of yours, your brain, all the way down to the base of your spinal cord. And your nervous system is very important for your day to day functioning, for your thinking, for your processing, and obviously for motor development and walking too, right? And so nervine herbs work on the nervous system, usually by sedating the nervous system, by calming the nervous system. And this type of herb helps dramatically with people who have anxiety or people who have trouble just sort of calming down, maybe even at the end of the night to go to sleep from feeling so revved up. You know, we live in a fast paced society. You don't have to join that wagon, right? But if you get up and go to work every day, if you have a family, maybe you run a business, it's life can feel really busy. So we have to be intentional about slowing life down. And we can also use herbs as allies to really help our nervous systems not only calm down, but also rewire themselves and really start to pay attention to the way that everything is connecting. So herbal medicine can not only help to relax the nervous system when we're talking about nervine herbs, but they also have nutrients in them that can actually benefit different parts of the body. So nervine herbs are great. They're great for adults. They're great for kids. I use them with my own kids in the evenings to help kind of calm them and just sort of relax their bodies. And we're not talking about sedating herbs where you can't function or drive a car or anything like that. Now, there are some herbs that can make you really sleepy or very, very relaxed. But usually when you're buying an herbal product, it will give you a caution statement or tell you when to use it, when not to use it. But for the most part, nervine herbs are very, very beneficial and very safe to use. So again, you want to be working with someone who can help you decipher what works for you and what doesn't, based on maybe any medications that you might be taking, and based on your health history. So that's that. Another category would be stimulants. A stimulant type of herb could be something like ginseng. Ginseng is known to provide the body with lots of energy, but it can be stimulating, a little too stimulating for some people. Now, I wouldn't necessarily recommend ginseng for like an 80-year-old woman, right? Unless she is super fit, super in shape, and very, very healthy. Maybe on a case by case basis, but for the most part, you want to make sure that you aren't overstimulating the body. And this brings me into the next category, immune boosting herbs. We've all heard of echinacea, we've all heard of elderberry. These are wonderful, wonderful herbs, but there is a such thing as boosting the immune system too much. The immune system needs to stay in balance. We don't want to have an overactive immune system because then we land in autoimmunity. And that is something that affects so many people, more people than even know that they are being affected by it. And so when you think of herbs that are stimulating, like ginseng, or immune boosting herbs like echinacea or elderberry, you want to make sure that you are using them, consciously be aware of how you're using them. And if you're using them therapeutically, meaning that you may be taking them at a higher dose than you would another herb, then you definitely want to make sure that you are giving your body a break at some point, maybe taking it and then taking a period of time off and then restarting it, or taking a much lower daily dose for maintenance. Okay. There are lots of other categories of herbal actions and energetics. One last one I will touch on is adaptogens. Adaptogens are phenomenal because they help your body adapt. They help your body adapt to the environment. They help your body adapt to stress. They help your immune system adapt and modulate itself based on what is around you if your body feels like there's something that's a threat to you. And so adaptogens are amazing. And some of my favorite herbs fall into this category. Some classic examples of adaptogens could be ashwagandha root, eleuthero root, which is Siberian ginseng. Rhodiola is another popular one. Romanier root is another one. There's so many that fall into this category. So that is something I recommend for everyone is to be taking an adaptogen or an adaptogenic blend. Mushrooms are also adaptogenic, and those are wonderful for your immune system and also for stress. You do, of course, want to make sure that you are not allergic to mushrooms or whatever the specific herb is. If you know you have an allergy with, towards anything, then you definitely want to avoid it. Let me get a sip of water here. Okay, next on the list, single blends versus herbal blends. There's nothing wrong with taking an herb by itself. There are lots of herbs that you may take here and there on occasion, and you may want to just take it alone. But there are also times when you want to take an herbal blend on a daily basis. And that is personally how I take my herbs. I usually mix, which is almost gone, but I usually mix my herbs into a little fresh ginger tea with some water. And I use a lot of liquid extracts or tinctures, which I'm going to talk about in a second in the next part. So for me, it's easier to take an herbal blend because I'm now getting 6 herbs, for example, into one dose versus taking 6 individually, labeled bottles of herbs. That can get a little cumbersome and overwhelming. So do an herbal blend. We sell them here. I formulate herbal blends. I have access to tons of different professional brands. If there's one that you're already using, we can definitely help educate you on that and help you figure out the best ones for you. Next, finding quality herbs. Now, of course, it would be great to live in a world where everything was organic, where there were no pesticides or herbicides sprayed on anything. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So what I tell people is go with an organic herb when you can, but it isn't always necessary. There are some herbs that are very difficult to cultivate organically, or they are quite expensive to cultivate organically. And so you have to keep that in mind. A lot of people are going around looking for organic this, organic that, but the more certifications a company or a farm or a business has to organically certify their products, the more it's going to cost you. It costs them lots and lots of money to become organic certified. And so you are going to end up paying for part of that through their prices. So keep that in mind. It isn't always bad to buy an herb that is not organic. Communicate with the company that you're buying from Find out what their philosophy is, their farming practices, or their standards, and that way you'll feel very comfortable in what you're buying and where you're buying from. Um, Also, beware of buying herbs online. There are plenty of great sources online where you can buy your herbs from, but when it comes to stores like Amazon and other big market shops, you want to really develop, have engaged in a conversation with the seller, right? Not with Amazon, but with the actual seller, so you can get an idea of those practices and those philosophies, like we mentioned, because we really don't know where things are coming from if you're not dealing with an actual, like, established business. Okay, next, types of herbal preparations, and we're coming down the home stretch. There are several different types of herbs that you can buy. So I talked about the liquid extracts or the tinctures. This is an example of one. This is actually one from my line. It's called Mood Magic, which is excellent at helping to lift the mood. It helps with anxiety, even some mental clarity. This is the Mood and Happiness Tonic. I love it. This is an example of a tincture or an extract that you would put inside of your liquid. Okay. I usually don't take them from the bottle. I usually add them to about 1 to 2 ounces of water, or like my tea, like I said, and then take it that way. And the usual dose is 2 full droppers twice daily. But every brand varies. It depends on why you're using it. Depends on the type of herb. So another type of herb preparation would be an elixir. This is another one from my line. This is the Illume elixir, which actually is very good for the skin, treating the skin from the inside out because of the turmeric and the antioxidants. And this is something that you would take by the teaspoon. It's not quite as strong as the tincture, and so you take that a little bit differently by the teaspoon, but still mixed into a little water. So another type of preparation would be pills or capsules, which you're probably familiar with, right? Most people have used an herbal capsule before, or you've taken a vitamin in a pill form. So even products like lotions, oils, salves, ointments, these are all things that can be formulated with herbs where you can get the medicinal value from the herb, but just topically on your skin versus taking it in internally as herbal medicine. How to work safely with herbs. Well, the most important part is to speak with whomever you're working, and make sure that they're aware of your health history, any allergies, and anything that would prevent you from taking an herb that they would recommend. That is the best way. You can also check online for contraindications to see what drugs do not pair well with what herbs. That is basically a really good way to stay safe and know that what you're doing is going to be safe for you. Now, some of my favorite herbs as I end this course. I have lots of them, guys, but I love turmeric. I know that might sound kind of boring. I like to take it in an herbal tincture form or as a part of my Illume product that I just showed you. But definitely cook with it. Use your culinary herbs as much as possible. Get comfortable with using them. But I love using turmeric in a liquid tincture form because as medicine, it's very anti-inflammatory. It can also have some slight blood thinning effects. So be careful if you're on a blood thinner. But if you aren't, it can really help to maintain the viscosity of your blood, which is great. I love astragalus. Astragalus is an immune balancing herb. So whether you are overactive or underactive in terms of your immunity, astragalus can really help to marry those two and just bring balance to your immune system. Ashwagandha is a great adaptogenic. I love that because it helps with energy, but it also helps with sleep. So it adapts to your body and intuitively understands what your body needs. And that's really how all herbs work. They work intuitively with your vibrational makeup. They work to understand what your body needs, and they give you just that. I also love chaste tree, which is an herb that helps to strengthen the progesterone in the body. So great for balancing hormones. I love dandelion root, helps to cleanse the liver. Milk thistle seed does as well. Can't go wrong with cleaning the liver. And taking something like dandelion root on a daily basis for maintenance is a great way to keep your liver functioning properly, neutralizing and flushing out toxins so that way you can enjoy the things that you like to do. Your liver also stores emotions. So if you're feeling emotional or angry, and implement a liver cleanse into your lifestyle. Hit us up for more information. I'm so glad that you guys attended. My name is Cicely Everson, founder of Tao Holistics, where I work as an herbalist and functional medicine practitioner. We are here to help raise the health consciousness on the planet, and we want you to improve your health and take your health from good to great. Okay, so let me know if you guys have questions. Cannot wait to hear from you. You can shop online at our store. You can also check out our membership options for holistic health so you can live well. Take care, guys. Bye.